This is CBY, Christian Broadcasting of Yakima, your local Trinity Broadcasting Network affiliate, bringing to our valley quality Christian programming for over 20 years.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for Good News in the Valley, your local Christian news magazine. Now, we hope this Christmas program will bless and encourage you during this joyful season as we celebrate our Savior's birth. First, we're back in the kitchen of New Hope Catering, where Debbie Carl will be cooking up a Christmas surprise. Next, you'll hear a testimony from an individual whose life was changed by participating in the New Life program. Then you'll be blessed with a Christmas music video by For King and Country. And finally, we'll provide you with some of the Christmas celebrations at local churches around our valley. Now, Debbie Carl is back cooking up a feast and revealing her secret recipes for a Christmas surprise. Once again, let's join Debbie and Heidi from Yakima Union Gospel Mission's New Hope Kitchen.
We are back in the kitchen at New Hope Catering with Debbie Carl, who is the food service director here at the Yakima Union Gospel Mission. Now, Debbie, you are going to talk about the Christmas dinner, but before we unravel that surprise, go ahead and talk about what people can do to help out with the mission during this Christmas time.
Okay, Christmas is such a fun time here at the Union Gospel Mission. One thing, the homeless, the people that stay at the mission, even our poor people just right around the mission, this is their favorite time of year because Christmas Eve we have a wonderful service upstairs, a worship service, lots of beautiful Christmas music and a blessing over people. And then everybody that comes and eats Christmas Eve dinner comes through the mission into the front office and receives a gift. And that, I mean, they just look forward to it. They're so excited. Everybody, the little kids, we have gifts for everybody. So they've been blessed with a beautiful service of worship and Christmas music. They got to eat and top it off with a gift. So even people, everybody, like people that live on the streets that don't have a Christmas tree up or presents under it or any family, they all get beautifully wrapped Christmas presents.
That's so awesome.
So that's exciting. And then Christmas morning, I have a family that comes and they like to make pancakes and they bring their children. So we have a wonderful pancake breakfast and we have a great meal at 1 o'clock, and then we have a little bit lighter Christmas evening.
And now New Hope Catering is going to be preparing the Christmas dinner, which is a huge undertaking. So talk about some of the needs.
Okay, I do prepare everything in this catering kitchen because just because it's Christmas, we still have to cook the day before and the day after. So our mission kitchen is quite full with people. So I need ham, pineapple, potatoes, just whatever's on my menu. That's what we need. Do you know that we already have all our volunteer slots filled up?
Wow.
And so at this time, I'd like to remind people, we love volunteer help 365 days a year. You don't have to wait till Christmas or Thanksgiving. So if you called and wanted to volunteer and we're full, please come the day after, come the day before, come in January.
And Debbie, you just mentioned gifts. So kind of go into more depth about that. How do people help out with those gifts?
We give useful gifts to the homeless and the hurting. We give knitted hats and scarves and socks and gloves, lots of gloves for all ages, children, adults. We do give toys to the kids, fun little toys. We use gift cards to a lot of the women. We give a gift card where they can go and buy their own beauty products or their own shampoo. Maybe they don't have that luxury of doing. So any gift like that, thinking of winter, thinking of cold, thinking of something to keep them warm.
Okay, Debbie, what are you preparing today for us?
Okay, I have the awesome privilege of getting to cook for the Union Gospel Mission staff employees Christmas party. And sometimes I like to change the menu, but no, everybody wants certain things that we do. So one of them is prime rib. So I have a garlic prime rib with the au jus and the special horseradish sauce. We're going to do the special Christmas salad I make, and it has bacon in it, Heidi.
Oh, great! Who doesn't love bacon?
And then my mom has always made us, and she doesn't cook anymore, but when she did, it's called pumpkin pie cake, and our family loves it.
So let's get started.
Well, I buy a whole prime rib because it's hard for me. My husband says, wow, are we having company like the neighborhood? It's hard for me to cook small.
Right.
But I do buy a whole prime rib, and then
Okay.
I cut it up because usually, you know, you can use it later. So any piece of prime rib, I have this. This is a nice piece that'll definitely feed 4 to 5 people, depending how hungry you are, Heidi. And I like to get my prime rib at room temperature.
Okay.
And I let it sit unseasoned, and I mix crushed garlic, which I crushed ahead of time, and salt and pepper, and I
I
let
can
it.
smell that. It smells fabulous.
I let it weep a little. I have, look at all that garlic. I have lots of good uses for garlic.
Yes.
So I let it kind of weep, so it's kind of a paste, and you don't have to wear gloves, but if you don't, everybody's going to know that you were doing prime rib, and you'll have a house full of company. So I take my prime rib, and I like to cook it fat side up. So I start with
Okay.
the bottom side, and I put a nice rubbing of this garlic, salt, and pepper. Only those 3 things. And I've let those sit out for the 2 hours that I did the prime rib.
Okay.
So I've got garlic everywhere, and the last place I'm putting it is on top of this fat cap. I just cover it with a piece of foil and a kitchen towel, and just let it sit on the back of the stove where, you know, not on a burner on, but just back there to keep warm,
Okay.
and it comes out perfect. You always have hot au jus ready, and I have
Okay.
a crock pot usually that I do with au jus. And I like to make it with just how the package or the jar, I used a jar today, calls. And then I put a whole onion in it and a couple cloves of garlic and then a couple bay leaves. Okay, so when I do horseradish, you can buy horseradish sauce, but you don't want that. You want ground pure horseradish.
Okay.
Because this is too hot for me, but I always make sure I have some for that person that wants their nose to run and their eyes to run while we're eating. So I like to mix sour cream.
Okay.
And I'll leave you the recipe. Sour cream, fresh crushed garlic, of course.
Of course. Can't leave that out. Yes.
I use about 1/4 a cup of pure horseradish with 2 cups of sour cream and about 2 teaspoons of crushed garlic. Okay, now the prime rib is in the oven, and we are going to work on the Christmas salad. This is one of my
Wonderful.
favorite salads. I kind of made it up thinking about what would taste good, what I like, and so if you don't like what I like, you won't like what I cook.
And I love everything you cook, as we all know.
That is awesome. Well, I am going to do the salad dressing first. I make
Okay.
a sweet onion salad dressing to go with this Christmas salad. I start with fresh, crisp romaine. I have sliced almonds
Okay.
and craisins. I have the little mandarin oranges all peeled and ready to go. Your favorite part, the fresh cooked crisp bacon, a sweet onion, and this is a cheese that I buy
That looks
at
fabulous.
Costco.
Okay.
And I can only find it on the holidays. That's why I call it a Christmas salad, because I love to make it year round. So when I can't find this cheese and I'm hungry for it in March for Easter or something, you can use feta. It's not the same exact, but feta is a good substitution, and I cannot even pronounce it. Do you want to try?
Wensleydale with cranberries.
With cranberries, and it is just a good
It's
cheese.
delicious.
It's so easy. I take the block and I slice it and chunk it, and it crumbles up a little, and then you just can toss it in.
Wow.
And sweet onion dressing is a nice light onion dressing that I make. So the first thing I do is I use my Ninja to blend to save on the measuring cup. So I'm going to put my white vinegar.
While you're doing that, Debbie, what is key into making a well put together menu?
Well, I always start with what I like. What do I like to eat? Because if you're going to
Okay.
try to cook something you don't really like, or you think about when you go to somebody's house for dinner,
Right.
and you just think of all the good recipes you have, what sounds good together. I figure you don't want everything heavy, you don't want everything
Yes.
with bacon, even though you love bacon. You don't want too
Correct,
much
yes.
bacon. So that's kind of what, I just sit down, I look through cookbooks, I
Okay.
have good memories of being at someone's house and what tasted good, and I just kind
Oh,
of do
right,
that.
yeah.
So I'm going to do my ninja. It's going to get noisy. And it just blends everything up so nice and pretty. So you can mix all these ingredients and put the dressing on right before you serve it. So we have our sweet onions. We have our mandarin oranges, and it's a very pretty salad.
It is. So many different colors in there.
You've got your red cranberries, your pretty orange and white,
Yeah.
and then bacon, and I won't use the whole thing of bacon, but I do use quite a bit because it is a good part of this recipe. And then, like I said, the cheese mixes really well, and this is such a good complement to your taste
Looks
buds.
so tasty, yes.
Lots of times, this is how this salad came apart. Is I was shopping and I saw that cheese and I thought, what can I do with that?
Yeah.
Because I do brie cheese a lot, you know, bake it and use it with crackers. But I thought, no, I'm not going to do that this time. And then I thought, ooh, it'd be really good in a salad.
Oh, yes.
So you see how some of it's a little chunky still, and some of it's crumbled. And if you want smaller pieces, I just break it up a little.
Okay.
So the salad, isn't that just a
looks
beautiful,
amazing. Yes.
beautiful salad? So we're going to toss it with our dressing. And then you're going to all sit down to the table and eat it.
Oh, it looks so
It's just
good.
so good.
Okay, Debbie, what's our dessert?
Our dessert is one of my mom's favorite recipes she used to make for us. It's called pumpkin pie cake.
Oh, that sounds good. And you know, that's so festive. And you know, when you create something festive and colorful, it makes it more fun, doesn't it?
It does. And you know, I could eat this cake all year long, but I never make it. I only make it at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I don't know why. And the same with pumpkin pies. And I think it's because we like to save some pretty fun things
Yes.
for the holidays.
Definitely.
So I like to look for things with lots of color when I'm cooking, how the product finish will be.
Oh, that smells so good.
And looking through recipe books, and I have a lot of recipe books, but now you have the internet, you could put in colorful Christmas foods, and I bet you could get
endless ideas.
Yeah,
Yes.
so, and that's fun to do because other people have lots of good ideas. So I mix everything. I start with the sugar and all the spices first so that I don't splash too much. So we do our eggs that we beat together.
Okay.
Mix that in. It's almost like making just a plain pumpkin pie,
I see that. Okay.
but it's a little denser. And you can use milk or evaporated milk or heavy cream. If I don't have evaporated milk on hand, I use half and half or whole milk. And you know, a pumpkin pie cake, pumpkin pie, anything, pecan pie, and this is kind of a mixture of the two because I love it with pecans on top.
Yes.
And you can make it without pecans because a lot of people, whenever I make it for our church, I make half and half because half of us like the pecans and the other half don't. But you always have to top it with something good. So what do you think that is, Heidi?
Well, let's see. Is that whipped cream?
Yes, it's whipped cream.
Gotta have the whipped cream. Yes.
Yes, and it's so good with real whipped cream. So it's just nice and everything's mixed. You don't have to beat it. I like to do a lot of desserts, like I told you, to mix by hand.
Right.
So my grandkids can help.
Yes.
And I just put this in a 9 by 13 pan.
All right.
And then I make it so it's a flat surface.
Okay.
And then a dry cake mix. Now I buy everything in bulk, so I don't buy just a single cake mix. I always buy the big box.
Right.
So it takes not quite, right around 3 cups is a cake mix size.
Okay.
And if you're gonna put pecans on it, because you know, if you like something, you like a lot of it. So I put a few down there just right next so they can bake into the pumpkin pie, kind of like you do a pecan pie when you top it with the pecans. Then I sprinkle the cake mix over it evenly, and this is something the kids love to do too because it's not too terribly messy, although we do use our hands to spread it. But I think, isn't that funny? I never thought of having kids help me until we had children of our own, and the girls would help, and then you have grandkids.
They love being in the kitchen when you're in there.
Right,
Yes.
you're thinking, how else are they going to learn? So I kind of spread that a little evenly, and I add a little more pecans on top.
Okay.
Especially if you're making it half and half for people that don't like. You want to be able to see where the pecans are. But on this one, the pecans are everywhere. And then a cube of melted butter, and I don't use margarine. I do use real butter because I think you can taste the real butter. You could make this up to 2 days. If you're having a huge holiday dinner and you have so many things to do, you could make this recipe, and it is still so good and fresh.
And you made it look so easy.
It really is
Yeah.
easy. Okay, Heidi, are you ready for the tasting?
I have been waiting for this. Oh, thank you.
And here is our beautiful horseradish sauce.
Okay.
I have forks and knives, and you can do just a little of the au jus that has that good
And
flavor.
I just kind of drizzle that? Is that
A lot
how
of people like it just drizzled over their prime rib.
Okay.
And you know, when you have leftover au jus, I save it
Yes.
because it makes wonderful soup. I take the bay leaf out of it,
Oh, and it just smells scrumptious.
and I take the onion out and chop it up a little, and you can add your leftover prime rib and lots of fun vegetables to make a great soup. It's good flavor. It should just melt in your mouth a little.
It is melting.
And the more rare
That
it is,
is
the more it's tender.
Fabulous.
Isn't that a fun dressing?
Oh my gosh.
It's very light, but
Very light,
lots
but
of
so flavorful.
It just pops in your mouth.
This is delicious. Oh my goodness.
Do you like a lot of whipped cream?
I do.
Yes, I figured you probably did. Like I said, it's easy to make. People can help you do it, and it's not real heavy. Very good.
Oh my goodness.
You can taste the cloves and the
You can a little
gingers.
bit of crunch with the pecans. Oh, this is amazing.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
While I'm eating, Debbie, before we close, is there any closing comments that you would like to share with us today?
I would just like to say I feel honored that you guys have asked us to do this cooking show to help the public know the needs of our Union Gospel Mission. I can't even begin to tell you how my life has changed since I started working here. And all the miracles I see, I told you earlier, it's like Christmas every day.
Yes.
God just opens his storehouse and blesses our mission through the whole community. Our community is so generous, so it just overwhelms me someday. So my closing comment is, if you haven't been to the Union Gospel Mission to come serve or come for a tour or just have the privilege of giving a hat or a pair of gloves or food of any kind, you're missing out. You're missing out on letting God bless you, because you're blessing other people, but he blesses. We can't outgive God.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Debbie.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing this.
Are you going to go home and cook Christmas dinner for your family?
I'm tempted now.
Yeah, you
Yes,
need
I will. And for this, sharing your holiday menu with us, and don't forget the dessert. Thank you so much for doing that, and may
You're
God bless
welcome.
you,
Okay.
and may God bless the efforts and the work of the mission as well.
Thank you very much. We all really appreciate it.
And I hope you guys will enjoy these wonderful, fabulous Christmas recipes straight from the New Hope Kitchen. Until next time, I'm Heidi, reporting for CBY. Get back to you.
Well, thank you, Heidi and Debbie. And would you consider joining my wife and I and support the Union Gospel Mission this Christmas season? Next, we'll hear from Tim Gonderman, a life that was changed for Christ in the New Life program at the Union Gospel Mission.
Hi, my name's Tim Gonderman. I'm a participant here at the Men's New Life program at the Union Gospel Mission. And I would just like to give a short, brief testimony of how good God is and how God has delivered me. I was born and raised July 8th, 1964 in Los Angeles, California. My real parents were alcoholics. I was adopted at age 3. Had a rough life, and I was brought up here to Yakima, Washington, June 6th of 1981. I had no friends, no family, no clothes, no money, and that's when I first heard about the mission. I proceeded to struggle with drugs and alcohol and women, And anyways, Jesus is so good that after going through a few struggles and marriages, God has really delivered me. And I just want to thank God for how mighty He works in my life and everybody else's life. I just want to thank Jesus for the Union Gospel Mission, Rick Phillips, Ellery. They're all of them. Debbie Carl, they're all great. If you would like to read about my story, I wrote a book called Supernatural Deliverance. It's on Amazon and Google. And I just thank God for Union Gospel Mission. He's brought me here and it's really turned my life around. And this is my story. My name's Tim Gonderman. Thanks.
And that's why we support the Union Gospel Mission. And now, enjoy this beautiful Christmas music video by For King and Country.
You told me all about your sorrows, I'll tell you about a cure. If you told me you can't fight the battle, there's a baby boy who won the war. The war was won by a baby boy. Hallelujah, we can sing it. Hallelujah, heaven's ringing. Relentless joy started with the baby boy. Oh, before that silent night, there's a Savior and I know Jesus Christ. The world cried out so desperately. The baby boy was the reply. Yes, heaven's reply was a baby boy. Hallelujah, we can sing it. Hallelujah, heaven's ringing. Relentless joy started with the baby boy. See, the king is coming down, and he's here without a crown. The baby boy without a bed, giving life back to the dead. See, the angels shouted out as the people come and bow. Unexpected majesty, hallelujah, what a king. We can sing it. Hallelujah, heaven's ringing. Hallelujah. Relentless joy started with hallelujah, we can sing it. Hallelujah, yeah, heaven's ringing. Hallelujah. Relentless joy started with the baby boy.
Come celebrate His birth at a local church this Christmas. If you don't have a home church, then consider attending one of these. So there's no excuse not to attend one of those Christmas Eve celebrations in our valley. Now I'll close with Galatians 4, 4 and 5. But when the fullness of the time came, God sent forth His Son, born of a woman, born under the law, so that He might redeem those who were under the law, that we might receive the adoption as sons. May your heart be filled and lifted in praise this Christmas for the wonderful gift of Jesus and the joy He brings to our lives. Have a wonderful Christmas and a blessed New Year.
We at Christian Broadcasting of Yakima wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Okay, now?
Oh, she'll give you a count.
Okay. We at Christian... What?
Way to jump the count, Jerry.
I gotta wait for...
Illegal procedure, 5.
Okay, what do I do? I gotta go to play a little tennis game, so let's get going. We at Christian Broadcasting.
Why don't you be bouncing
it was flat.
and then catch it. He should be doing that. He should, when he first comes on, he should be doing that. Boing, 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 boing. And then catch it. We at Christian, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Go, Jerry.
Well, don't hit anybody with
Go,
it.
Jerry.
Okay, guys. 5, 4.
This is CBY, Christian Broadcasting of Yakima, your local Trinity Broadcasting Network affiliate, bringing to our valley quality Christian programming for over 20 years.